How we doing, folks? Wait a second, let me just put that up there so that I can do the little cross-legged thing. There we go. Oh man, I was gonna do this a little bit earlier, but I ended up taking a nice little nap there. But I figured I can still get this up in time for today, and hopefully I might even do another one super late tonight to kind of get tomorrow's out of the way. But my man Sarman Goblin, I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong, asked me why I was doing a lot of the animation stuff, so I figured this might be a good thing to make the video about, so it kind of does explain, like, you know, why do I have skateboard clips and pizza and animation on this channel? When I was a real little kid, like around 4 years old, my dad showed me how you can use a camera to do a magic trick by making somebody disappear, by having me sit in a chair and, turn the video camera on and then turn it off, having me move and then turn the camera on so it looked like I disappeared. And I thought that was really cool, and he used that concept to explain to me how you do animation, either stop motion or the like drawings and stuff like that, like cartoons. And so I have a pretty vivid memory of being 5 and doing a whole bunch of the drawings of that the Metrodon character. It didn't really look like that. I didn't do it stick figure. I was probably trying to draw like a box or something like that type dinosaur, like real stubby legs or whatever. But the idea was still kind of, walks out on this cliff and just kind of like opens its mouth or something like that. And that was all it's supposed to do. So, obviously a project that you start when you're 5 years old like that is, not something you really finish. So, I was looking back and getting into some of the animation though now, because I still did that most of my childhood. Like I got into the claymation and things like that. Again, I kind of like the model building, I think, more than a lot of the actual filmmaking part of it, but it was still cool to see what you could do with just a VHS camera and stuff like that. Over the years as an adult, I've had little ideas for cartoons and things like that I've wanted to do, but just never the time for it. And occasionally I do end up having something that I have the time for. I did 2 stop motion claymation things a couple of years ago for Christmas that involved pizza. It was just, again, my dad had some elves that he would make out of felt and pipe cleaners around Christmas time. It was something that he'd gotten from his mother, and just kind of a tradition that got passed down. He was a school teacher, so he'd make them with a lot of the school kids as well. But I was like, well, these things are posable. You could use this for stop motion. So I had an idea for using those to have the elves make some pizzas and stuff like that. So I made a little one probably around 2018 that was like 30 seconds. And then 2-3 years ago, I did one that was a little bit longer. My girlfriend at the time helped build some set design and build some sets, and I had a friend that her partner does a lot of voice acting, so she was able to help me kind of compile a script for it, and he was able to do the voiceover. So that was pretty cool. 1 second here. Where's my... Well, I guess I'm not going to worry about the heater coming on during this. So yeah, when I saw the blender over the last summer or fall, that was pretty interesting to me because I'd never really been into the 3D animation. But it certainly looked, intriguing. And some of the things that you can do with Blender just by adding images, I was like, well, I can use that for some of the 2D stuff that I've been doing, just like hand drawings and stuff. Doing the dinosaur again, the way that I'm doing it, which I guess the Dimetrodon isn't even really a dinosaur per se, but doing that animation was just kind of like a callback to, the first thing that I tried animating. It's a pretty simple concept. It doesn't take a lot to do, and it's a good way to kind of learn how to do this thing. Like if I have 3 or 4 other animation projects that I want to do, but do I want to go through the process of learning the fundamentals while trying to put my ideas out there, or would I rather take something that isn't necessarily as important, but something that I still want to get done, even if it's taken 32 years to accomplish. You know, it's like, it's just a fun, interesting thing. So that's why I'm doing the Dimetrodon the way I'm doing it. And also, it'll be interesting, I think, because I can do it a few different ways. I already have the 2D grease pencil one that I've done. I can continue to work on that and find other ways of animation, 2D and Blender. And that can be the template by which I explore, you know, doing that kind of thing. I can do the 3D model in there. I can do the background 3D. I can do the whole thing 3D model and switch it in and out. Given that I am starting to understand DaVinci a little better and I got like a little green screen, I can also make a little clay model of that guy and do some claymation of that and potentially put that into that scene. And I think that's where I'd like to go with it. You know, my birthday is in June. It would be nice if I could be like, all right, well, you know, I spent the last like half a year learning how to do this, and now I can do a 2D version of this, a 3D version of this, a claymation version of this, and kind of overlap the things a little bit. So, you know, that's the whole reason behind getting into the animation, or getting back into the animation, or more into the animation, depending on how you want to look at it. Yeah, and it's definitely been fun and worth it. So hopefully I can continue to grow and learn. Definitely feel like I'm starting to hit the point in the bell curve where there's a lot more information, but I'm learning a lot faster, so it's a little bit quicker and stuff. I am going to have to redo that model that I put up. I tried putting an armature in it today, and it was saying that one second. Oh, it was saying that the bones couldn't connect. I probably have like some duplicate vertices, or some part of the mesh just not lining up right. But that's okay. Like that first one, you know, if it had been able to be used for animation, if the armature had been able to apply to it correctly, that would have been great. But I had a feeling that I was going to screw up some part of it, either because it was in different parts before I started doing it and maybe joined the things wrong, or, you know, just didn't have the mesh line up correctly, or again, duplicate vertices, whatever. Just by accomplishing that, though, it taught me a lot how to use a lot of the different hotkeys, things that I need to look out for, potential problems that could arise, how to troubleshoot things, how to fix things, how to find answers for things, and just again, how to get comfortable using a lot of the hotkeys so that I can do things a little bit faster, rather than having to go up here and left click here and right click here and open this to get this tool, knowing that I can just hit Control or Shift or Alt, you know, P, J, F, A, whatever it is. And again, if something's not working, or if I do hit something by mistake and it's like, well, wait a second, why is the cursor working this way? Now I have a better understanding. Like, okay, well, I must have hit this by accident. I can just reset that. Probably going to spend the rest of the night watching some more retopology videos, so that I can get a little bit better at like the shrink wrap modifying and stuff like that, and understand how to do that better. But, you know, it's a learning process, and again, still enjoying doing it. So on top of that, got to play the drums a little bit today, got to play the guitar a little bit today. Probably try to go skateboarding later. Oh my god, I had new shoes and a new board the other day, and it's just, I'm a chef by profession, and having an old skateboard and old shoes is like using a knife that hasn't been sharpened in 4 months. It'll cut, technically, like you can use it, but the second you give that thing a nice sharpening and it actually does what it's supposed to do, you're like, oh, this is fun. This is actually enjoyable. This is doing what it's supposed to. So, yeah. I guess that's the end of story time about the animation. I hope that answered the question for Sarm Goblin. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, dude. I'm not really sure that's how it makes sense to me, but thanks for the question, and thanks for the other comments and everything. I appreciate it. Anytime you start something like this, getting a little bit of support from somebody, especially somebody you don't know, so that you know it's genuine, it's not just a friend giving you pity support or whatever, that means a lot. So again, appreciate that. Hope you keep watching, as well as everyone else. Until then, See you all tomorrow, and peace.